Black South Africans are having fewer and fewer babies every single year. The black birth rate in South Africa has plummeted over 40% under ANC rule. And the current projections are that by next year, black South Africans won't even be having enough babies to maintain their own population. The latest data from Statistics South Africa shows that the number of black babies born in this country is now plummeting by an astonishing 60,000 per year. Back in 2021, there were still over 900,000 black babies born to native South Africans, but by 2024, this had dropped to only around 700,000. The last year, this number of black children born in this country has been estimated to have dropped below 700,000 was 45 years ago, when the black population in South Africa was actually about half of what it is now. Projections are that by next year, the biggest contribution to population growth in South Africa will be illegal immigration. Black women in South Africa used to have on average 6 to 7 children during their lifetime during apartheid. Of course, in previous generations, it also wasn't uncommon for white South Africans to have 5 or more children in a family. But the black birth rate had historically always been higher than the white birth rate. But as is the case around the globe in all countries, both developed and third world countries, birth rates have come down significantly over the last few decades. And while the decline in fertility in first world nations, especially in Europe and Asia, has been extensively documented, very little has been said about the immense decline in birth rates right here in South Africa. So stay tuned, because today I'm going to expose a demographic reality that no one seems to be willing to talk about. You see, one of the key objections to apartheid was the claim that a minority held onto political power at the expense of the majority. The narrative you often hear about the history of South Africa often tends to be something along the lines of a white minority suppressing a black majority, until the black majority finally liberated itself from said oppression. But this doesn't really represent what actually happened at all if you look at the birth rates. What happened was that the peoples of South Africa each lost their independence to the British Empire, and that this empire then proceeded to unite over a dozen formerly independent republics or kingdoms or chiefdoms into one imperial construct that is now South Africa. And then the people of this region had to deal with this new socio-political reality, in which they now found themselves in a land that was no longer in any sense their land, not for any of the 12 different countries or peoples that were united or actually forced together into the Republic of South Africa. One can certainly in retrospect criticize the way that the Afrikaners went about with dealing with this new reality that they found themselves in as a minority in an artificially created British vassal state. But what absolutely must be emphasized is that our ancestors at the start of the 20th century found themselves in a political construct that they did not create and that they did not want. What they wanted was not a union of South Africa, but their own independent Boer republics that they used to have of the Orange Free State and the South African Republic in Transvaal. In 1904, shortly after the Afrikaner people lost their freedom, the first census was held across the whole territory that would from 1910 onwards constitute the Republic of South Africa or the Union of South Africa. White people now made up only 22% of the population, even though at the time they still constituted the vast majority of people in the western half of the country, including what is today known as the Western Cape. The western half of the Orange Free State, the Northern Cape, as well as in parts the Transvaal, especially around Pretoria and Johannesburg. Also, keep in mind that the census was held shortly after the Boer War, in which tens of thousands of Boer women and children were killed by the British, and it is estimated that had it not been for the bloodshed of the Boer War, the white share of the population would have been closer to 25%, or perhaps even closer to 30% or more. Consider this for a moment. In 1904, just over 100 years ago, there were fewer black people in South Africa than there were white people in South Africa today. The black population in South Africa in 1904 was just under 3 million, a threshold that the white population reached by around 1965 under Hendrik Verwoerd, and the colored population by 1996, meaning that all three major racial groups in this country did so within the same century. Nonetheless, thanks to the improvements in healthcare, sanitation and nutrition, largely brought about by the Afrikaner regime, as well as by virtue of just immigration from the rest of Africa, the black population of South Africa absolutely exploded during the 20th century. In 1904, when the British conducted their first census, there were just over 3 million black people. 80 years later, when the ANC took over this country at the end of apartheid, the black population had increased almost tenfold to around 30 million. And this demographic trajectory has continued ever since, with the black population continuing to increase while the populations of the other groups have remained fairly stable. But something extremely surprising has quietly occurred along the way. Ever since the ANC took over, the black birth rate in this country has started to plummet. In the early 90s, it was still around 4 children per woman, but since 1994, this figure has declined by just over 40%. Today, it is estimated that the fertility rate among black South Africans has declined to roughly 2.3 children per woman, which for a third world nation is barely above replacement rate. The only reason why the black population of this country is growing still is because of the immigration from other African countries, with hundreds of thousands of immigrants coming in every single year. This, of course, means that in terms of the current demographic struggles the Afrikaner people face, securing our northern border may even be a far more pressing issue for us than many might realize, just as it is such a pressing issue for the black populations within South Africa. Very soon, the birth rate of black South Africans will drop below this replacement level for the first time in the history of this country, following the trend of the rest of the world. This means that in the future, black South Africans won't even have enough babies to maintain their current population, never mind actually growing their population in South Africa. The reality is that South Africa will very soon become only the 4th sub-Saharan African country where birth rates drop below replacement rate, joining Mauritius, the Seychelles and Cape Verde. And this could potentially happen as early as next year. All the while, illegal immigration from north of our border continues to rise every year. You see, if trends like this continue, this means that within 10 to 20 years, the non-native black population of South Africa, or the immigrant black population of South Africa, will be larger than the South African born or native South African population of South Africa. This unprecedented development suddenly presents Afrikaners with a unique opportunity to demographically consolidate in strategic areas with a reduced risk of being demographically overrun. This is, of course, if we can help to secure the northern border of this country that is currently as porous as it is. Ultimately, no culture and no nation has a future if it doesn't have children. Demographers have long pointed to the reality that demography shapes destiny. In his 2010 book entitled Shall the Religious Inherit the Earth?, the Canadian political demographer Eric Kaufman made a compelling case that the future doesn't actually look very bright for atheists and agnostics, because religious people such as Muslims and Christians have far more children. Even within the Christian population, those that are described as very religious tend to have about twice as many children as those who are described just as religious. This points to the fact that people, or Christians in particular, who believe the Bible to be the organic word of God, tends to have about twice as many children as more liberal Christians who believe the Bible not to be organically inspired word of God, but just a book about the religion. Then the liberal Christians have a twice higher birth rate than atheists do. So in other words, very religious Christians, especially among white populations, have about 4 times the birth rate that atheists and agnostics do. This same dynamic applies to nations as well. And the big question the Afrikaner and the Anglo-South African have to confront themselves with in the midst of a looming demographic crisis is whether we will have the willpower to actually turn this into an opportunity to create the necessary preconditions for future self-determination. You see, at the end of the day, our future will ultimately be determined by whether we as a people turn back to the fundamental principles of the Bible and the Christian faith and cultivate God-glorifying families with large amounts of children where we raise up the next generation according to our principles. In a recent video, we highlighted how the phenomenon of white flight is reshaping the South African demographics. Check out that full report by clicking on this link appearing on your screen right now. And do support our research here at the Willem Petscher Group by becoming a paid member. Simply follow the easy steps underneath me. Only with your investment, I'll be able to produce videos such as these every single day. Goodbye, and God bless.